Here is a more simple book that I think I could give to kids so that they could read all by themselves. It's for a little bit of younger audiences, more straightforward, and it's What's Your Sound, Hound the Hound, and it follows a very formulaic pattern that I think kids can get behind. What's your sound, Hound the Hound? Woof, woof, woof. What's your sound, Chick the Chick? Beep. See, I think that's more straightforward, so I would use Hear That and Esquivel to read aloud to my class. And I would use What's Your Sound, Hound the Hound, and also the other book that I have available digitally, which is Boo Hoo Moo, a story about a cow who is very upset. And so she's crying and singing Boo Hoo Moo, and all of the animals on the farm try to sing along to cheer her up. Those are the ones that I would have kids read in like a silent sustained reading, whereas these other two books are a little more complicated. I'd read aloud to the class. So we have examples that we're reading all together in a group, and we have examples that kids can read independently, and then we get into the lesson. So I would either use, there's two options for my mini lesson. I would either use the sounds that animals make, or I would make the sounds that instruments make. Preferably, I would like to use the sounds that instruments make, because if my school has a good music program, I could borrow some of the instruments from their music program and bring them into the class. And we would listen to the sounds that those instruments make, and then we would raise our hands and try to vocalize the sound that we just heard. So if we are playing with a pair of drumsticks on a drum, and we think that we hear rat-a-tat-tat, then one of the kids would raise their hands and they would do their iteration of rat-a-tat-tat, and they'll all sound a little different. That'll be like, and someone will actually go like rat-a-tat-tat-tat, and everyone will have their different idea of the word that they've pulled from that natural sound. And then up on the whiteboard, we can kind of come together and figure out how we would spell the onomatopoeia that we've created. So if it's rat, then maybe it's rat, and maybe that's the word, that the onomatopoeia that we've created for the sound of that our drum makes. We would do that a couple of times, maybe create 3 different sounds, and then we would make a list of other words that rat or that boom or that clink could also be. So that spelling, this could also be the sound of rain falling as you're walking into school. Or maybe this is the sound that it makes when one of our students takes like a pen and like against the desk. So once we have our special sounds, and these aren't just, like standard onomatopoeia, this is our onomatopoeia that we've created together, we would create a story using the 3 onomatopoeia words that we've created together. We would do it on big butcher paper, so that me as a teacher, I can write out everyone's ideas, and then every student has the opportunity to come up with a big pen and write out the onomatopoeia, so it just absolutely fills the page around the illustration, sort of like this. Because what I liked about all of these books is that the onomatopoeia was big and pronounced. It really popped out and it made the story super interesting. So like, for example, here, it fills up an entire page, and that's really what onomatopoeia is supposed to be. So that would be my lesson, is to listen to some sounds, either animal sounds or preferably the sounds of instruments, come up with onomatopoeia based off of the noises that we heard, and then use that onomatopoeia in a special way in a story for our classroom. So that's my mini lesson. That's my anchor chart and the mentor text I've used to foster the lesson. I won't be in class tomorrow, and email will explain more about that. But thank you for watching. Have a good day.